Welcome to video number 2. Today I want to explain how we became a doormat, if we are one, if you identified that in the first video. And some people believe that it's not really me, it's them, or it's something out of there, that I'm always unlucky in being in a relationship. What I'm saying here is that a lot of people believe I always get the same kind of partner that probably takes advantage of me or puts me in a situation that I give more, or they're not interested in me. And I believe it's something of karma or a past life, or I'm unlucky or whatever. It doesn't have to do with that. And let me show you first, why is it that we created this inside of us? This all has to do with childhood years, with what happened with us when we were little. So what happened here is that there are 4 factors that really affected us when we were little. One, first, has to do with brain frequency. What happened here? We're under theta. Theta has to do with anything that we hear, that we see around us, that we feel, we receive this without any filter. It becomes like a complete and utter truth. So if somebody says getting money is hard, you'll receive that as something that it's really a real complete truth. Second, we believe our parents are perfect. So as we look at them, anything bad that happens to them, we believe it's our fault. So I have to do constantly something to make them, quote unquote, feel good. If not, I believe it's my fault. Third, we all need to survive in the world. If you look at typical physical survival, it has to do with food, clothes, shelter. But beyond that, I believe we all need to give and receive love. That's an emotional survival that each and every human being needs. So what do we tend to do? We're babies, we're children, and we need to look for this in other people. We need to get the acknowledgement, the bond, the hug, all these different kinds of things that is very important for us. So, point number 2 and point number 3 about thinking about our parents are perfect and this other emotional survival, this makes us be a different kind of person. This makes us try to adapt to others instead of trying to be ourselves. We try to be ourselves naturally. So, hey, I like to be an artist. Immediately they tell us being an artist is bad because you won't get any money. Or I try to cry a lot. Men should never cry. And different kinds of things. So all the time I'm trying to adapt to my parents or to my caregivers. Being my brothers, sisters, whomever, I try to adapt to them. This makes me be a different kind of person. This makes me create a different persona than who I truly am. When this happens, we start to create guilt. We start to create shame. We start to create fear, emotional voids. We start to believe that we start to create this pain. So how do we deal with this pain? We create addictions. I believe every human being is an addict. So we look for something external to anesthetize that pain that we have inside of us of not being ourselves or feeling bad of who we are. When we grow up, we tend to look for partners, and what do we believe unconsciously? Hey, somebody can help me out fixing all this crap that I have inside of me. So I look for somebody that can come up to me and make me feel, quote unquote, better. They can help me fix up all these childhood issues that I had and I couldn't fix when I was little. So I go into a relationship, and after that we have children. We get married, we have children. So I believe unconsciously my partner can leave me. I put on all this crap onto my kids. That's the fourth issue. So if you see, it's a miracle that today on planet Earth, we're alive, that we're still working as a society, as a civilization, because it's pretty fucked up what's happened to all of us. And this has happened from generation through generation. We all have fears. That's part of who we are. And part of what we have not learned is how to not to transmit these fears onto others. And that's what our caregivers did to us. It's not their fault. I don't blame them. I don't condemn them. but I don't leave them off the hook. I just say, they did this to me. And that's very important to be able to acknowledge this. So if I feel that I'm ashamed of myself, I feel bad about myself, how do I go into a relationship feeling very bad, very insecure, and I go into a relationship thinking that I'm not enough, that it's a miracle that somebody might want to be with me, that somebody wants to relate with me, that somebody might want to live or share their life with me. So I become quote-unquote a slave. If you look into archetypes, we all have the prostitute. And the prostitute doesn't have to do only with sexual. It has to do with my values, like we spoke in the other video. It has to do with my thoughts. So what kind of music do you like? Whatever you like. What do you like to do? Whatever you want to do. Instead of showing up like we truly are. Instead of being who we truly are. And the problem is, who am I? I don't know. I have to ask everybody because I lost myself in the middle of the way. We look at who we truly are. We see it's very far back. Because during my whole life, because of how I felt when I was little, I became somebody different. I became this people pleaser. And all the time, I'm trying to look how to please other people. I become codependent also, which I believe every human being is a codependent. And how do I do this? I try to look for ways to please you. I try to depend on how you are for me to feel good or bad about myself. So it's normal if you feel that you're a doormat. It's normal that you are this. It's not your fault. It's not that you're a very weak person, you should be strong. Because there's the other part that I'm not speaking around here, but you might become the other extreme. When you're out of fear, of low self-esteem, you become always two extremes. One is a doormat that we're speaking about in this video series. The other one is a very powerful person. The person that tends to create power. I dominate you. Everything that I say, it's law. You have to do everything that I say, that I want, that I feel, and I dominate over you. Obviously, if you're a doormat, you're going to look for this powerful person, and if you're a powerful person, you're going to look for a doormat because that's where they make this good circle, and you make this good relationship work. Two dominant people, they'll crash and they'll leave. Two doormats, it's not enough. So you need this part right here. And that's the other extreme. So it's not like I'm going to stop being a doormat and now I'm going to become a powerful person. No, because if you become a powerful person, you're also going to do it out of fear. And it's because of the same issues that you had when you were little, and you're going to get the same results. You're going to feel bad about yourself. You're doing it out of fear, not doing it out of love. So please understand, first of all, it's not your fault. You've never done anything bad. If you don't know how to do it differently, how can you know, or how can you feel responsible or guilty of doing something? You first have to learn what you're doing, be conscious of it, so you can start changing it. And yet, if you start to change it and you screw it up, it's not your fault either. Why? Because there are habits. You've been living 30, 40, 50 years in a certain way, and you believe you're going to change that from one day to another. That's not possible. You have to create a new habit of living, of feeling good about yourself, of acknowledging yourself, of accepting yourself. There's no self-forgiveness. Why? Because you never did anything bad. There's nothing to forgive. It's very easy for me to, and it's like a cop-out, to say I did something wrong in my second relationship, and look how stupid I was, and how I kneeled down with this woman, and I did all these stupid kinds of things. Yeah, because now I know I did it, and now I know it's easier for me not to repeat it. And now today that I'm living with my wife, I know I'm not doing it, or at least that often, or I'm more conscious about doing it, or if I'm going to do it. So the idea here is to understand this part. You don't have to forgive yourself. Please have a lot of compassion for yourself. If you're watching this video, it's because you felt you've been doing this. You felt you've been taken advantage. You felt that you cannot be your true self. So part of all of this has to be with first seeing this. It's like the 12-step program. The first one is acknowledging you have this, not that you have a problem. First is acknowledging that you have this and that you're probably not living your true potential. You're not living from your true self. And wanting from your heart to change this. Being a doormat, you don't have to change. Let me put it this way. You don't have to do anything. A lot of people believe that if you're acting a certain way in a relationship, you can't, and you have to act under these norms. Pure BS. If you want to be a doormat, amen to it. And if you feel good about it, amen to it. I'm not going to make you change, and I don't want you to change. And you can stop this video once and for all and don't continue watching. But if you do want to change, amen to it also. You're free to do whatever you want. The important thing for me comes to the end of the day, the results. How do I feel after I do this? Am I feeling good about myself? And I look myself into a mirror. Do I feel good about myself? Can I honor that person? Can I respect that person? Can I trust that person? So whatever decision you want to take, perfect for me or perfect for the world. It's not even for me, it's for the world. It's perfect for you. Take that power. Feel good about yourself. And don't feel bad about what you did or didn't do. See you in the third and last video.